Hey, welcome to the chair with James. I know it's been a while, but I've been going through some health issues and just sick with the flu, fever, cold, cough. Still got a little bit of some allergies, and well, I'm happy I'm here, literally, physically, mentally, all that. Well, I don't know about mentally, but physically, I'm here for sure. And I want to do a Clipper monthly. It's been a while, but a lot has happened since I've done one, and we'll go from the 31st of December till the All Star break. And there's been a lot going on. There's been some great games, not so good ones with the Clippers, but um, overall, as of now, Clippers have the third best record in the West at 37-18. They trail the Lakers first and the Nuggets second. And there is a lot of about 25 games left, so a lot of time for the team to get together, a lot of time to hopefully practice more together, play more together, be a team together. Now there was one trade, and it was Jerome Robinson leaving the ball club, going to Washington. It's part of a three-team trade. Marcus Morris uh, coming to the Clippers for Mo Harkless. Um, there was a feeling that the Clippers needed to be tougher defensively, and Morris would bring that. And for the first two games in Philadelphia and Boston, it felt that way. It felt like there was some meanness, some toughness that maybe wasn't there at his position. Because there's Beverly, who shows the same passion, uh, and then George and Kawhi, but of course more quieter, not as loud. Let's just say, but bringing in Morris, he can shoot the three ball. He can play tremendous defense, get out and run. Not as much as Harkless, but more of a veteran in some facet. But it's pretty much trading for the same guy with Harkless going and Morris coming in. But to me, it's just more of a presence, I guess. And that's nothing against Harkless. I been following him for a while since Orlando, and I wish him nothing but the best where he is now. Let's go from the December 31st. This is at Sacramento. The Clippers won 185-87. Kawhi led the Clippers with 24 points. That was a New Year's Eve afternoon game. Next game was the first of January, 1st of 2020. It was on the 2nd versus Detroit. The Clippers won 126-112. Harrell had 23. Next game was January 4th against Memphis at home. It was just a disappointing loss. No Kawhi, but 140-114. The young Grizzlies with Rookie of the Year. I'll vote him in for sure, no doubt. Ja Morant showing what he can do. Harold did lead the way with 28 points for the Clippers, but there's too much young Ja Morant and the Grizzlies that game. And the next day they played, this is two matinees in a row on the 5th. Against New York, the Clippers won 135-132. Harrell with 34 points. That game, it was really stressful because they basically did the same thing where they allowed the Knicks to do whatever they wanted to, like the Grizzlies. Definite tale of two halves. The Clippers pulled away. Knicks came back in the second half. Almost forced overtime, but didn't. And the Clippers ended up winning only by 3. Next game was long layoff, Friday the 10th, January. against Golden State. The Clippers won 109-100. Leonard with 36. Next game was 2 days later, on the 12th, in Denver. And always tough to play in Denver and win. Clippers lost 114-104. Leonard with 30. Next game was the 14th against Cleveland. Clippers won 128-103. Leonard with 43. Next game was the 16th against Orlando. Clippers won 122-95. Leonard with 32. Next game was a ABC national televised game on the 18th of Saturday on January. Again, and in New Orleans, and it was close, tough game. Clippers won 130. Leonard had 39. And then at Dallas on the 21st, the Clippers won 100-107. Excuse me, 110-107. Leonard with 36. Clippers there with a great streak of wins there. What is that? 6 out of 7. That was pretty cool. Then Kawhi set out on Wednesday, the 22nd, in Atlanta, and Harrell had 30, but the Clippers lost 102-95. It was pretty stressful for sure. Reports are coming out saying, man, there's like dysfunction, and saying, why is Kawhi sitting out? Why is all these things happening? But there was no beef in the locker room. Players came out and said, no, we're all family, we're all good. So next night, national television, the next game, the 24th in Miami. Clippers won 122-117. Leonard with 33. That was the week he got Player of the Week, and he certainly showed it. And honestly, he could have been Player of the Month in January for sure. Next game came on the 26th of January, and it was a win over Orlando, 122-97. Leonard had 31. Now, January 26th, that was a afternoon game, at least on television here in California. It was out there in Orlando. Now, if you know that day, that's when Kobe Bryant passed away, daughter Gigi, 7 others in the helicopter accident. That just broke everyone's heart, no matter who you root for, no matter if you're a basketball fan, even if you weren't, you knew the name Kobe Bryant, and it's still just heartbreaking occurrence to think about. And Tuesday, the 28th, the Clippers were supposed to play the Los Angeles Lakers at Staples, a Laker home game, but that was postponed, and I think that was the right decision. I, as a player for either team, would not want to touch that game. Just the pure emotion, just the excuse me, just the I don't know. You don't want to see that, and it just felt like it wasn't ready. But in my mind, I don't know the Lakers schedule by heart, but I know the Clippers play the Lakers on Sunday the 8th, but I don't know if there's a game before or after that day that the Lakers are playing, but the Clippers are off. But there might be a April 10th as a date for that makeup game, but we'll see for sure. So, Clippers end up playing on the 30th on the Thursday, losing to Sacramento 124-103. Kawhi sat out. Lou Williams led the way with 22 points. Next game was Saturday on the 1st against Minnesota. Clippers won 118-106. Leonard with 31. As we get into February the 3rd versus San Antonio, Clippers won 108-105. Leonard with 22. And then Wednesday on the 5th against Miami, Clippers won 128-111. Paul George led the way with 23 points. And both wins against Miami, it was carbon copies pretty much of the games because um, Jimmy Butler got hurt in both games in the fourth quarter, which made it easier, I guess, for the Clippers to win. But again, nothing's easy. Um, but unfortunately for Miami, Jimmy got hurt in those games and lost those games. And fortunately for the Clippers, but to each their own. I mean, that's just fortunate, but those are two wins needed. Record-wise, they have pretty much the same record, so it was always a great battle head-to-head. Saturday, the 8th came in Minnesota, and the Clippers lost 142-115. Leonard had 29 points, and that was the first game with Morris. I was wrong. Yeah, that's the first game with Morris, and it seemed like the defense wasn't on the right page. The offense scored enough, but man, the Minnesota Timberwolves just scored. Jordan McLaughlin, the former Trojan, had a tremendous game. Cat did as well. That was one of the first games that they had without Wiggins, as they traded him to Golden State for D'Angelo Russell. And D'Angelo was on the sideline, being the cheerleader. As we want to see what Minnesota brings with that duo. They won't make the playoffs, but we'll see what happens with those two for sure. As we move along, on the 9th, the next day, Clippers were in Cleveland, wearing their Buffalo Braves uniforms, and Mark Morris had a great game. Lou Williams led the way with 25. Clippers won 133-92. And then Tuesday on the 11th in Philadelphia, the Clippers lost 110-103. Leonard with 30. And then the last game we'll talk about that was played was Thursday the 13th. Clippers lost a 2 overtime thriller against the Boston Celtics, 141-133. Lou Williams had 35. There was some controversial calls in that one for sure, but it was just one of those games where, man, you're just giving it your all. You know your break is coming, and you just give it your all, and knowing that break is coming, you're just playing it out, trying to stop someone for so long, play 2 overtimes, anything can happen. But again, the Clippers ended up with the third best record at the All-Star break in the West, 37-18. Next opponent is home games against Sacramento and Memphis. They go to Phoenix and then go to Denver to end the month of February. Now, I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard, as he was the Clipper to make the All-Star team. He also had his jersey retired at San Diego State after a afternoon game against Minnesota on that Saturday, the February 17th, I believe. No, I'm not. Well, it was a great scene. His Clipper teammates came to San Diego State, and they were there. His family was there. It was that was pretty cool to see, and knowing that a group of guys are there to be with him, that's got to be a great feeling. as I try to find the game, I can tell you, yes, it was on a Saturday. So, uh, hmm, there it is. Yeah, February 1st. Yeah, that's what it was. So, and then let me mention this: the skills challenge on Saturday with the All Star game, All Star weekend. Pat Beverly participated and knocked out in the first round, but it was a nice sight to see him. Uh, excuse me. Participate in that in Chicago, his hometown, and then Kawhi Leonard hitting 8 3-pointers, scoring 30 points. He was the All Star Game MVP, the first in Clipper history to have a All Star MVP. So that was pretty cool to see. Um, Again, they had the format to honor Kobe in that game where you had what was it? The three quarters were all scored separately, and then you had a elimed ending like the basketball tournament does, and Team LeBron had to score to 157. Both teams had to get to that point. Anthony Davis of the Lakers, another hometown player, won the game uh, for the Team LeBron over Team Giannis. Very entertaining All Star game. Uh, Kawhi, again, 8 3-pointers, 30 points. All Star Game MVP, making San Diego proud, making uh, LA proud, the Clippers, Riverside. Just nice, nice finishing touch on to the All Star weekend, and of course the focus is getting back and getting into the swing of things, getting healthier with Clippers, and can't wait to see. As I said, the next game is Saturday. Uh, the Wow, Saturday. Yeah, most teams are coming back on Thursday and Friday, but Clippers are coming back Saturday, the 23rd. No, yeah, Saturday 23rd. So, uh, that was Clipper Monthly for the month of first months of 2020. A little bit halfway through January. Excuse me, January and February. Uh, Covered a lot. There's obviously more to come. The 25 games left, and then the playoffs, where the real season begins. And can't wait to get to that point. I guess I've grown up now. I understand what Popovich and the whole thing with load management. Now I fully understand. The rest is all about getting to the playoffs healthy, and that's the way things are. Just have to live with it and hopefully reap the benefits of it. That's for sure. So it's been Clipper Monthly for the 2 beginning months of 2020. It's been the Chair with James. We'll see you next time. Later.